Troy University students will have an opportunity to put their building skills to the test as a way to help the hungry in Troy area. Troy will hold their annual Can Castle contest this Wednesday. Students will take collected cans and try to build the best looking castles out of them on the Barnes and Noble deck. The food collected for the contest will go to the Troy area food pantries, something organizers say is needed.
Alabama is the sixth poorest state in the country, and in Pike County, 35% of children live below the federal poverty line, and 27.5% of working adults live below the poverty line as well. So, that's roughly a quarter to a third of our population is below federal poverty line. That does not include people that make over $23,000 a year for a family of four. That would be working poor. So there's definitely a lot of needs.
The annual Can Castle contest will be from 1 to 3 Wednesday afternoon on the Barnes and Noble desk.
One lucky female Troy University student has the chance to represent Troy University at this year's Spring Reunion Weekend. Applications are now available for this year's Miss Venus pageant, and the pageant will be held on Tuesday, March 18th, and is open to any female student that attends Troy University. The winner of the Miss Venus pageant will receive a $150 scholarship and will represent Troy University at events during the Spring Alumni Weekend at the end of March. Organizers say Miss Venus is a fun way for a young woman to show off her true beauty.
Simply a beauty walk like you had maybe in high school. It's the pageant that we choose our representative for the alumni weekend, the spring reunion weekend. They ride in our spring parade. The difference with Miss Venus is that it's just a fun pageant. It doesn't matter if you've been married, if you're divorced, if you have children. As long as you're a female and you go to Troy University, you're eligible to be in this pageant.
Applications for Miss Venus are available through a link on the Trojan Today email. The deadline to submit an application is Monday, March 17th at 4:00 p.m. The Miss Venus pageant will be Tuesday, March 18th at 7 p.m. in the Claudia Crosby Theater. Well, some people consider their birthdays a national holiday, and for many education majors, March 2nd is a special day in the classroom, Amanda.
That's right, Caitlin. Dr. Seuss's birthday is celebrated nationwide in elementary schools through Read Across America. And today, Courtney Addison shows us how Troy University is celebrating.
2 Troy University students took time out of their busy schedules to show their teachers some appreciation and also celebrate Dr. Seuss's birthday.
One thing that our professors always tell us is we need to be creative with our students so that they can be imaginative and really love learning. So what we wanted to do was just kind of give that back to them and be creative for them and just do something special for them.
The students decorated the doors of 5 education teachers. All the doors were themed from a Dr. Seuss book that the students felt had a special meaning to the teacher.
Dr. Ingram's doors are the places you'll go, and she is a world traveler. And thing 1 is Cat in the Hat, and we always think of Dr. Warren when we think about that. And then we did the Lorax for Dr. Skaggs, who's just very caring, and she always gives a lot to her students. And then our teacher, Dr. Byron, is, we did 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish, and she's our math teacher.
The students referred to those 4 doors as being Seussed, but one teacher was Grinched.
We did Dr. Wingate's door, the Grinch, because he comes in our math and science class all the time, and we'll talk about how kids are green and boogery and they snotty, so we were like, oh, obviously the Grinch for you.
Both students said Dr. Seuss's birthday is like Christmas for education majors. But door decorating wasn't a class assignment. These 2 students did this for fun, and one professor says actions like this will make all the difference in the classroom.
The most wonderful students. I mean, we really, really do. I'm so proud of every one of them. And this is just an example. This is just an example. And those students out there, those little kids, they're in for a treat.
The Education Department will continue to celebrate Dr. Seuss's birthday throughout the week and will have other Read Across America activities. Courtney Addison, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Once again, Dr. Seuss's birthday was March 2nd.
And now taking a look at news from around the state. In Dothan, an upcoming vote on allowing alcohol at outdoor events in downtown Dothan is expected to be closed. The Dothan Eagle reports that 2 city commissioners say they plan to vote in favor of the ordinance on Tuesday, and a 3rd commissioner pledged his support for the ordinance. However, 3 other commissioners said yesterday they plan to vote no.
In Mentone, authorities are investigating a fire that gutted a historic hotel in northeastern Alabama. A fire ripped through the Mentone Springs Hotel Saturday night, and authorities are unsure of the cause of the fire. Mentone is about 30 miles east of Scottsboro in DeKalb County.
And in Tarrant, authorities say a teenage girl was killed in a car crash that left the driver of the vehicle with 2 broken legs. Deputy Jefferson County Coroner Bill Yates says 18-year-old Natasha Renee Osby of Pinson was killed when the car she was riding in hit a tree after a brief police pursuit through Tarrant on Friday.
And still to come on TrojanVision Nightly News, the Trojans women's basketball team received some good news over the weekend. Danielle Percival will be in with the details coming up in sports. And now Danielle Percival joins us with sports. So Danielle, we had a lot going on with Trojan athletics over the weekend, but it seems that most of our teams were on the road.
Well, that's right, Amanda, but it's the opposite story this week. Trojan athletics will be here on campus, so we'll get into a recap of what happened and get into what's to come. The Trojan softball team had their best weekend of the season, coming away 4-1 at the Eagle Classic. The Trojans saw success against their former rival from the Sun Belt, Middle Tennessee, winning twice against the Blue Raiders, including Sunday's finale with a 5-2 victory. J.C. Affelt had a monster weekend and finished Sunday with another win, allowing 5 hits and striking out 9. Affelt tossed her first collegiate no-hitter on Saturday in a 7-0 decision against Tennessee State. Over the weekend, Affelt went 3-0 with a .69 ERA and 24 strikeouts in 20 1/3 innings. Michelle Phelps was the Trojans' top performer of the weekend at the plate, finishing with a .538 batting average over the 5 games and had 5 RBI. The Trojans will be back on the road Wednesday at Georgia Tech, with first pitch scheduled to be at 3 o'clock. The Trojan baseball team split the first 2 games of the series against Southern Miss, and it all came down to championship Sunday. The Trojans fought hard, coming back in the game twice, but the late rally fell short as the Golden Eagles took the rubber match 7-6. The Trojans trailed by 4 after the first inning, but had their own 4-run inning in the third to knot it back up. Southern Miss tacked on 1 in the 4th, but Troy took the lead in the 8th. The Golden Eagles would come back and match the Trojans and recapture the lead in the bottom of the frame to go on to the victory. Nick Masonia was stellar at the plate for Troy with 2 home runs and 3 RBI. Head coach Bobby Pierce said while it's never fun to lose, this series was a beneficial one for his team.
We didn't win the series, but I think that we did learn a lot about our new, young, inexperienced bunch, and that they are willing to compete, and they competed hard. And if that's what we gained out of losing a series, I think that's going to bode very well for us for the remainder of the season.
The Trojans will be right back at it tomorrow night at home against the Sanford Bulldogs to begin a full week of Trojan athletics here on campus. Tomorrow's baseball game is set for first pitch at 6 p.m. And the Trojan men's basketball team bettered their chances of making a trip to New Orleans on Saturday with a convincing win against Louisiana Monroe. The Trojans defeated the Warhawks 61-46 Saturday afternoon to take over sole possession of 8th in the Sun Belt standings. The top 8 teams will advance to the tournament following this week's completion of the regular season. Hunter Williams had a game-high 24 points, and the Trojans maintained a double-digit lead the entire second half. Head coach Phil Cunningham said his team is getting it together at the right time.
We go on the road against a team that's been playing well, and they had a big win over South Alabama Thursday night. It was a great example of what we've been talking about with our guys' character all year. That they were able to bounce back and get a road win, and to do it so convincingly.
The Trojans will take on UT Arlington Thursday night at home. The Mavericks hit a last-second shot to defeat the Trojans in Arlington in their previous matchup this season. Thursday's game is set to begin at 7. Well, the women were not able to help their chances of making it to the tournament, but did have a little help along the way to secure their spot. The women are guaranteed a trip to New Orleans after South Alabama lost to Louisiana Lafayette Sunday. The Trojans didn't have any luck against the Warhawks, losing 91-87. The Trojans led for more than 15 minutes in the second half, but the Warhawks rallied to take the victory in the end. The Trojans got 30 points from leading scorer Joanna Harden and a season-high 27 from Courtney Coleman. Head coach Shanda Rigby believes her team is better than they showed on Saturday.
We're disappointed we didn't beat Monroe at Monroe. We've been on a pretty good roll. We took a step back. I think one of the major factors in that game was rebounding. We didn't have Renita Garrett. She's out with a a sprained ankle. We try to play for about 30 seconds. But today at practice, we're going to try to learn how to rebound without her. And we're just trying really hard to win our last 2 home games and come back and have a great showing at the Sun Belt Conference Tournament.
The women get their shot at the Mavericks on Wednesday night. The women will be in action at Trojan Arena at 7 on Wednesday. The Trojan women's tennis team pushed their win streak to 3 after 2 wins over the weekend. The Trojans beat Kennesaw State 4-3 on Saturday after being up 4-1 before the Owls fought back to make it a close contest. The Trojans were dominant in the doubles point, winning both matches 8-0. Then on Sunday, the Trojans again hit the court at the Lunsford Tennis Complex and came away with a 5-2 victory against Arkansas State. Anya Kosevich and Trang Hyun both won their 5th straight singles match and have also won 5 straight together in the doubles. The Trojans have now won 4 of their last 5 and pushed their record to an even 500 at 5-5 overall. So Amanda, Caitlin, lots of action on the road, but this week Trojan fans have the opportunity to really get out there and support the teams, as a lot of teams are in action on campus. Of course, it all starts with baseball tomorrow night at 6 o'clock against Samford, so hopefully lots of fans and students will be out there to support the team.
Exactly. We really encourage all students to go out and support all of our Trojans athletics this week. So
Absolutely. Great way to get ready for spring break.
Exactly. Thank you, Danielle.